Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our Secure Dental podcast, where we bring in many different talents from both inside and outside our dental industry. And today we are joined by none other than my alma mater from NYU College of Dentistry. We have special guests here, which I'm going to be naming in a little bit. But before we get started, just a quick shout out to our sponsor, DentVia. It's a virtual dental administration company that administers all the back-end staffing and all the back-end work. So with that being said, we're going to jump straight in because we do not want to miss any of the stuff that these guys are going to share with us. So starting this morning here, we have Dr. Anabella Oquendo, Assistant Dean for International Programs and Program Director of the Advanced Program for International Dentists in Aesthetic Dentistry. Now, next we have Ryan St. Germain. I mean, this guy has been on our pod last time. He is like the back-end workhorse for the deans and the entire college. Executive Director, Development and Alumni Relations at NYU College of Dentistry. And now we got lastly, but not the least, Candy Tobar, my favorite. Candy, Alumni Relations at NYU College of Dentistry. And it's because of her that she got hooked me to the school and got my relationship back with NYU College of Dentistry. So without further ado, we're going to pass the mic off to Dr. Anabella first. But before we do that, we just want to kind of highlight about this podcast. So the title of this podcast is The Importance and Impact of a Fellowship Program in the World of Dentistry. And with that being said, Dr. Oquendo, let's start with you. Just a brief background about you and what does that title mean for you?
Fantastic. First of all, I want to say thank you for having us here. It's such a pleasure. And I have to say, Candy, if you were the one that brought him back, thank you for that. Because he's making really a big impact in the school and our program. So thank you for that one, Candy. And well, I'm happy to tell you want me to start about my role or where I'm coming from?
Let's start how you got into dentistry, and then we'll slowly transition to that title of this podcast, right? Like the fellowship program and how we ended up over here. Like
Fantastic.
What got you into dentistry first? Let's start with that. Nice and easy.
What got me to dentistry? Well, you know that I always wanted to be part of healthcare. Even as a kid, I used to go to hospitals or to my dental appointments and seeing the healthcare providers taking care of people. I felt a deep connection there. I knew I was going to be part of that. And as I refined my vision, I decided to go with dentistry. And I'm so passionate about dentistry. I think I made such a right decision, right? It was the right choice. And I, did my dentistry back in my country. I'm from Venezuela, and I practiced for about 5 years. But I kept dreaming of doing something bigger. Like, I want to make a big change. I want to really make meaningful impact. So I packed those dreams, and I came to New York City. And I came to NYU College of Dentistry to make those dreams a reality. And I enrolled in the advanced program. It's now called APA Advanced Clinical Fellowship for Aesthetic Dentistry. And I enrolled in this program, and it was not just about learning how to make beautiful smiles and restore the patient's confidence and joy. It was really about transforming life, including my own. And all of that was alongside the most fantastic mentors, because if we have something here in NYU College of Dentistry, it's great mentors. And I learned back then the importance of a mentor is huge, having a mentor, right? They really guide us, they shape us, they help us reach our full potential. And on the top of that, I also learned the importance of surrounding yourself with like-minded people, driven people, to really be able to create big change. So in summary, my journey brought me to New York, to NYU College of Dentistry, from being an international student to a faculty, to program director of the program that gave me so much. And, it was a way to give back to the students and give back to the dentistry, the community. And now I have a wider role, more like leadership, as one of the deans of the school and the assistant dean for the international programs. And within that umbrella, do you want me to tell you what I do within the school now?
Yeah, absolutely. So, how much time did you spend from the time when you were a student at NYU, and then where are you now today? And then we can jump right into your role.
That's a good question. It was quite a journey. International student,
Okay.
2008 for 2 years. And right after I became a faculty. And after 2 years, 3 years after that, I became a program director of the
Wow.
aesthetic program. And it's almost 4 years now that I'm the assistant dean for the Office of International Programs.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. So what is your role currently now, and how has it transpired, like from what you did in the past and to what you're doing today?
Okay. So I continue to be the director of the Advanced Clinical Fellowship in Aesthetics. That's like my
Nice.
baby. I'm really focused on elevating the standards of that program and creating meaningful impact for both patients and students in the program, incorporating technology and always elevating what we do. No year is the same as the other one. There is always bigger, better every year.
Hmm.
And with the dean role, I oversee now not just aesthetics, but all the advanced clinical fellowships. With that, we have
Nice.
the aesthetic program, digital dentistry, we have oral surgery, and our beloved LU, Advanced Clinical Fellowship for Implant Dentistry.
Love it.
Thank you for everything you've done for that program. That program is excellent. It's 2 years, and they learn the prosthetics and they learn the surgery. It's unbelievable program. And in part, it's because of you. So thank you for that one.
It's a team
So
effort, and I love to be part of it. Absolutely.
great. And
So,
with that, it's not just about aesthetics now, it's about touching every corner of our profession as I oversee all these different programs. And I make
mm,
sure that the way we train our students and the way they learn is in an interdisciplinary approach. We have every corner of the profession among these programs, so it's very comprehensive and very interdisciplinary. And the other piece that I do within the deanship is global outreach. So
nice.
global outreach is a program where we bring care to communities in need, underserved communities. And at the same time, as we implement prevention systems and we restore smiles and we help people, at the same time, we're training the next leaders
Mhm.
to, take action and to lead with compassion. And, we pass the baton, right? So this is also a beautiful program because it brings hopes and it makes a tangible difference to the people that need it the most. And whether it's international programs, advanced clinical fellowships, or global outreach, I always make sure that the education is exceptional, that we elevate the dentistry, we elevate the life of our students and our patients, and we make meaningful impact, and always giving them and exposing them to great opportunities.
That's absolutely right. Because from some of the students' feedback that we got was most of the times when they are actually doing a procedure, they are really, really into it. And they understand all from a research point of view, and they also understand from a practical point of view. So what this program is doing is creating the next generation of leaders, and also that's going to impact the world of dentistry. So, which brings me back to this title here, right, of this podcast today, the importance and impact of a fellowship in the world of dentistry. From Ryan's perspective, what does that mean to you? And how is the school preparing these students to go out there in the real world and get some of this leadership and, like getting the whole gamut of what we're doing at NYU? How are they affecting dentistry as a whole?
Right. Okay.
Thanks.
What is
Hit
Ryan?
it.
Okay.
You go.
Yeah, go for it, Dr. Oquendo, and then we'll jump to Ryan. I'll get Ryan's perspective as well.
I'm
Absolutely.
particularly passionate about that point, by the way, because, for forever, dentistry was all about the clinical skills. It kind of defined us, right? That open margin,
Right.
a perfect margin. And it was all about being a clinician and the clinical skills. And honestly, to be successful in dentistry, that's just a part of the puzzle. We need to wear all these many hats. And one of the
Mm-hmm.
great things about our fellowship is that we do exceptional clinical training, incorporating technology and interdisciplinary approach. That guarantee, that's a given. You're going to get your clinical training. but we shape these well-rounded individuals that they are capable of wearing all these many hats they need. So when it comes to leadership, big time training, leading with purpose, business, to understand the business, how to run the business, what is that we do. Right now, we just launched,
Correct.
and actually with the help of Ryan, I got connected to our entrepreneurship institute in the school. And I'm running a course for lean startup for the students. And we have
Nice.
workshops. We help them understand, find a problem, create a solution. What is your value proposition and the lean startup concept? And they are creating amazing things. And we're conducting like a Shark Tank type of contest at the end, where they are going to present us all their ideas, all the products, and who knows, maybe from them, they get a sponsor and they create something great. But that's a tiny example. So the leadership skill, the communication skills, even
Wow.
incorporating high performance habits in their life. I'm very particular about that, right? And that wellness aspect, you want to be healthy, your mind, your body, and all of that get connected. And that's what we're training. We're training these, well-rounded individuals that are going to be the future leaders of the profession. All the hats they have to wear, not just the clinical hat.
That's awesome. I love it. And so jumping to you, Ryan, from your perspective.
I mean, Dr. Oquendo, obviously, as our leader in front of these students every day, her and her faculty and the amazing job they do, I think she's spot on. Our programs are so differentiated and these fellowships are so differentiated, not necessarily because of the hand skills they're learning, right? It's kind of like, if you're going to be an English major, you can be an English major at a community college, or you can be an English major at Harvard. It's still Shakespeare, right? Like the basics are going to be the basics, but what is that expertise and what is that global knowledge and impact and reach that you can have by going to that institution that is different, that I would argue is better, but that really has that commitment to having those demarcations of difference. And I think the leaning into leadership, the importance of mentorship, the community aspect, both domestically and certainly globally, make us, comparable to no other institution of education within the country, certainly the world, harder to argue, but certainly not within the country. And I think these programs and the opportunities that these students and our fellows are offered are incomparable. And then the compliments continue because you still have to be then the type of student to take advantage, right?
Exactly.
Just us offering the opportunity is not enough, but identifying and accepting and admitting the correct student from the start has to lay that groundwork, because if they're not self-identifying, either they already know it or folks like Dr. Oquendo can see it in them. Sometimes they don't know it yet, but we can draw it out of them and really help them develop into that full person, so that they do have a fulfilling career, but that they have a fulfilling life, because those are the people like yourself, Dr. Lou, that are able to come back and make an impact. If they don't have that completeness, wholeness of self, then they're not out in the world doing that. And I think that's something we're real proud of.
No, that's great, because there's these challenges when anybody, especially students, when we come out of school, when I say we, meaning like, my own self, when I graduated, we are not so well-versed with startups. We are not so well-versed with entrepreneurship. And what we do is we start learning from the school of hard knocks, right? Make mistakes, trial and error, till you get it right. And sometimes it's so devastating that we can't even get up. So what you've implemented in this program, I think it's tenfold. So with that being said, what was something that you found in students? Like, did you see something in them, or did you hear feedbacks from past students that you wanted to get this implemented, this entrepreneurship? Dr. Oquendo?
Okay, several venues, really. One is to see all the great things our alumni was doing. We have such a strong alumni network around the world. And they are becoming their leaders in their countries. So one is to see the potential of our students, what they were achieving with our training here once they went out to the real world. That was one. And second, as I keep connecting the dots when it comes to education and incorporating all this well-rounded, type of training and individual, I realized that entrepreneurship is one of them. It's not just being a leader. It's also understanding all these concepts. Even if they just want to open their practice, you know better than anybody, Dr. Lou. You need so much knowledge beyond the preparation of a margin or extracting a tooth, placing an implant. So I think that was the motivation there. And their success is always my success. And the fact that I was a student in the program gave me a lot of, insight, understanding how they feel, what the program did for me, and all the opportunities, all the doors that open up, and wanting to do the same for them and feel that responsibility of giving back. I think is kind of the reason why.
Love it. So let's dive a little bit into the fellowship program. How many different components are there? Different specialties in this fellowship?
Okay, we have 4 main programs. The aesthetic program. We have aesthetics and focus on the restorative aspect. And aesthetics is a program where we do a lot of treatment planning. Is that blueprint, what is best for each patient, and understanding all the specialties and understanding how we can collaborate to help the patient to get that ideal smile. Not just from the beauty side of things, but also function, biology, health, all of that. So that's aesthetics. Then we have oral surgery. They focus more on the surgical aspect of placing implants and other type of surgeries. Then we have operative and digital dentistry. This is also a purely restorative program. And we have all the toys you can imagine in this world. Everything is done digitally, and it's general dentistry and all digital to a point that we are early adopters of a Mujo. Mujo is basically like a digital articulator. So the students can do everything digital from the beginning to the end. And then we have LU, the LU Advanced Clinical Fellowship in Implant Dentistry. That program is excellent. And I'm going to tell you why.
It's a great program.
Excellent. Because you have both. You're doing everything. The surgical part and also your restoring. That's why it's a 2-year program. The training is very complete and very intense. And they do a lot of research. I know you mentioned research before.
Correct.
They go out to different meetings. They, present. We do a lot of public speaking in this program. We teach them the art of storytelling and communication skills. So they spend the whole year, learning how to do public speaking. And then we take them out. We expose them in different meetings to present.
That'd be great because I have one of my interns from our organization that just joined the program as well. And I told her, just be prepared. She's really introvert, really shy. And I was like, you will change. Just go with the program. And is this true that this is the only program that's 2 years? The rest of the fellowships are 1 year, right?
Yes. Implants is 2 years. The rest of them is a year program.
Good deal. So how has this fellowship program impacted dentists domestically? I know we keep calling it international. Is this something which, is it for a regular, DD? I call it regular, but, like local?
It's really, I would like, I'm going to say it's really transformative. These programs are transformative. And let me work for a second my alumni hat.
Okay.
And as I said at the beginning, for me, it was really a transformation. From international student to one of the deans at NYU Dentistry, it feels surreal to think of this journey. And I feel so much pride.
Amazing.
And when I think about it, it's all about the institution. It's the power of this institution, all the support, all the opportunities, and the doors that open up. So really, I'm telling you this as an alumni based on my own experience. But when I see all the students, it's transformative. Whether you're domestic or you're international, the clinical training they get is excellent. You know that in our school, we see a day, 1,000 or 1,100 patients per day, a total of 300,000 patients. So imagine the amount of exposure they get. So the clinical training is top. We also incorporate a lot of technology, the top of the top, right? So incorporating technology, always elevating standards. And as I said before, it's a must, that interdisciplinary and comprehensive approach to dentistry. We collaborate and we all learn from each other. But also, as I mentioned, it's not just that, it's creating and shaping these future leaders. That's also very impactful when you graduate from these programs and you feel comfortable leading your staff, leading your office, interviewing people, communicating,
Sure.
and understanding about business, being an entrepreneur. All of that, of course, makes a huge impact. And if you're an international student, that allows you to take all this knowledge and all this innovation back to your country and make a difference and an impact there. And we are so connected as an alumni that you get support and help no matter where you are. As I said before, our alumni are doing wonderful things. And no matter what year, if you are one generation or the other one, what year your graduation was, the minute you connect two alums together, that's powerful. It's a lot of support, no matter where in the world you are. So as an international student, you also are able to bridge, this global evolution and elevation of dentistry and bring all that back to your country and feel supported by all the network that we can provide and we have all around the world.
So this program is also for everybody, like even from United States, from international. They don't have to have a DDS degree, correct?
They do have to have a DDS.
So-
They have to be dentists.
I mean,
These programs are
DDS
for
from
them.
United States, it can be from anywhere in the world.
Correct. You are correct. International dentists and domestic dentists, they come together in this program.
Perfect. So Ryan and Candy, what are you guys doing in terms of exploring the community outside beyond New York? And what is it, some of the steps that you guys are doing in terms of getting this program out and making people aware?
Great question. And I think, again, to Dr. Oquendo's point, and yours, Dr. Liu, you quipped, having met some of our grads, and some of them that work with you now, specifically from the program, that their education and the curriculum that they go through kind of puts them, 5 to 10 years into their career already for the amount of
Exactly.
exposure and expertise. So even if you look at the program just as sort of a time condenser, right? Can I go out and can I learn this in the School of Hard Knocks and make those mistakes and figure it out through the cases I might have in my practice over 10 years? Absolutely. Or can I do it in a very systematized, no error in it and have really clean margins and do it in 2 years? A lot of people appreciate that efficiency to accelerate their career to that point. And so I think that's really what we're talking about when we're talking about the program to people on the domestic or international side. It's one of the best programs that really merges those two together. And I am a big proponent of those two then individuals, right? Those two sides of the coin just make each other better because their own educational experiences and clinical experiences have differed a little bit. I came from Spain and I learned it this way. And, I had a faculty mentor who really kind of purported this approach. Oh, okay. Well, I learned it, and how does that come together? How do we find what the best practice is? And it's because, there's more than one opinion at the table. And that diversity of thought, I think, really improves it. For us, having identified folks like yourself for 2 of the programs, it really just added fuel to the fire, right? It's already a great program. And then we throw some jet fuel on there and can take it to new heights, which is great. And so we look for people that are interested in doing the program. And we look for people that maybe have done the program or can just appreciate what it is and support their educational experience, be it through funding for these students to go out and do more of that research, do more of that travel, or calling it what it is. It's not inexpensive to do. It's not an inexpensive educational product to offer. So offsetting those costs this time, maybe particularly on the international side, to allow those folks to come have kind of the best educational experience they can and lower that economic hurdle a little bit for them is what Candy and I spend a lot of time doing. You agree, Candy?
Yeah. The only thing I would add to that, spot on as always, Ryan, but I would say one of the reasons why I think we're very impassioned to speak about these programs, obviously we have great leaders really running the ship, such as Dr. Oquendo and all of the directors and all of some of the leads that have done the program in the past and just frankly don't want to leave. That's the one thing that I've noticed about these programs is is the people that you're meeting. I think that I'm going to take it more to the social side of things. I'm not a dentist like you guys are, but I see the effect that it has socially on these participants, these fellows that come. And every single one of them has noted, yes, it will transform you in a clinical way, but they have noted that they have met their friends for life, that they would have never had the opportunity to meet another dentist from Mexico, from Spain, from Italy, all while doing it at the same time. You're gaining these international friends for life. They have noted that this fellowship not just transformed them on the clinical side, but as a person, giving them life experience, being able to live in New York City. They tell me that they will literally never forget this time in their life, and that if they could do it back to back to back, they would, because they absolutely fell in love with the entire experience. So yes, to what Ryan is saying, absolutely, we're impassioned to reach out because they're such great programs and they're transformative. But I think if we didn't see such a positive review from each person doing the program, we wouldn't do that so easily. It's easy for us to reach out to people and say, hey, have you learned about this fellowship that NYU is doing? This is a really fun thing for you to consider doing 3 or 4 years out from school. Maybe you're just turning the every patient wheel and, you kind of need a revamp. You need a new, fresh experience. I think this is a really great opportunity for domestic and international dentists to really rejuvify their interest in dentistry, gain international friendships, and really just impact their entire lives here forward. That people have noted that they will never regret doing this program. And so reaching out with such a positive note, we wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't such a great experience for them. So that's the only thing I would add, is that everybody is absolutely in love with this program.
So I can definitely attest to that, because last week where we had the midwinter in Chicago, I think one of the fellows from the implant program, he hit me up and he's like, hey, doc, I'm going to be in Chicago along with us. There are about 10 other people. And we are from the aesthetic program and from, the implant program. So I was like, what are you guys doing here? Then he was like, oh, we're just doing a presentation at the Swiss hotel or something. And they wanted to meet up. But unfortunately, I couldn't meet up with them because I was in Tennessee doing our grand opening at that time. So the good part was we have one of the fellows who's actually working with us in our Chicago location. They all met up. And, like you said, Candy, friendship, the bonding. I mean, these guys just went out that night. They met up and they had a fun time and great time. And, that's something to say, because in those 2 years, they just get that bonding with each other, right? And they don't want to leave, like you said. So I can definitely attest to that. I mean, there were all 10 of them, they showed up and they all had a good time in Chicago. One other thing too from this program, one of our associates, he's from the implant program too. The good side effect is after completion of 2 years in this program, they are allowed to apply for licensure in about 14 states. And that has opened opportunities and opened up doors for many of them who are actually contemplating hey, should I do the advanced standing? Should I go to another school? Should I do a restorative at UCLA, or should I do this? And I've noticed many of the people who are actually passionate about implants, they go with this program. So the good part is we can get the license. And the better part is once we get licensed in 1 or 2 states, automatically they open up more doors for other states. And then after 5 years, they open up doors for almost every state. So I think this is a really, really good side effect, I would call it, out of this fellowship program. I'm not sure if you guys were aware of it or not, but it's just something I wanted to share.
Yeah.
So tell me.
Opening doors is the name of the game. And if this program not just gave you this invaluable lesson and clinical training, but it's also opening doors for you thereafter, I mean, I don't see how much more better it could get than that.
Yeah.
100%. It's an opportunity, right?
Exactly.
So we talked about this program here. What is your ambition? What is your goal there, Dr. Oquendo, specifically what's your vision of this fellowship program as in the next 1 year, in the next 5 years?
Okay. I want to really keep working on connecting the dots, right? There is the one in particular that I think is going to be my next fight, and it's bringing the mouth back into the body, right? We
Okay.
need to stop looking at ourselves as teeth doctors, but more like oral health physician, feeling empowered and empowering our students to educate the patients about nutrition, sleep quality, airway, inflammation in the mouth, the correlation of
Mm-hmm.
that inflammation and the microbiome with systemic disease like cardiovascular disease, diabetes. That's big. That's big. We need to bring the mouth back into the body, right? And empower people. And instead of being part of a reactive model, more of an inclusive collaboration and holistic approach where we work with other healthcare providers to elevate the health of our patient, the whole well-being. We need to be part of that. So that's one of the dots. The second dot, I want to keep connecting, as I mentioned, the fact that as dentists we are, it's not just about being a clinician. It's a big deal. It's part of course, what we need to train students on, but that leadership aspect, that well-rounded individual, keep working on it. I want to keep crafting, experiences, exceptional experiences for them to really incorporate the high performance habit, all of that in their life to have a balanced life. It's not just the hard skills, it's the soft skills as well. So I want to keep connecting the dots in that area. And the third one, I would say technology is rapid, it's accelerated. And I want to embrace technology. And we understand that it's here to help us be more efficient, to be more predictable, but it's never going to replace the human, right? And the doctor. It's just helping us elevate what we do. And we have to embrace it. We have to understand it. And not here to help the ones that are not good at, understanding the fundamentals. It's just here to help the ones that are doing the homework and understand the fundamentals. There is a misconception there. Some people say, oh, technology will get it done. That's not how it works. So that would be my third, let's say, ambition. Let's call it ambition, is continue to incorporate technology and understand how technology, AI, is here to help us elevate dentistry and elevate the life of our students and our patients.
You're so true, because a lot of people are actually afraid of AI that's going to replace them. The actual war is not going to be replacement. It's going to be who can use them and utilize them, and who's going to be good at using them. So I think that's where the whole game will be. And I love the fact that you said embrace technology, because this is one of those aspects where I feel like if you're not caught up with technology and with the current dynamics of where we're heading in terms of, like digital dentistry, we're going to be left behind. And that's the honest truth. So I love that from the clinical side here from you. The same question for Ryan. I know you wear a lot of hats in a college, right? From the fellowship aspect, what is your vision for the next 1 year and the next 5 years? From the back end stage, like from the relationship side.
Sure. A lot of our role is then support, right? Because we take our cues from Dr. Oquendo and her team and her faculty, and kind of what do we need? And, that trickles bottom up. What do the students need, right? What are they identifying on there? So I think if Candy and I had a dream wish list, for the next 1 to 5 years, we have very happily named 2 of the fellowships. We'd love to see a champion come in for the other 2, and that would be the Digital Dentistry Advanced Clinical Fellow, as well as the Oral Surgery one. And then for me, the wonderful exclamation point on it. So great, we've named those 2. Let's say we name one in the next year. I'll put the other one before the next 5th. I really think the economic barrier and hurdle, specifically for international. Now, you could argue domestic pay the same tuition, so it's not easy for them either. But the economics are really there, right? Like you can make an informed decision to say, I'm going to increase, my compensation and what I'll be earning in a much quicker way. But how can we attract those students that we know would make, wonderfully leverage, ripple effect impact in their own communities, bringing these skills and talents back to them, wherever that might be from. And how can we get them here and remove that barrier to entry? What sort of endowed funding can we put into place to say, one student a year will be able to take from X community or Y region and really put them in. So instead of, kind of having a brain drain and an exodus out of those communities, how many other countries and communities can we help and really plant an NYU flag? And so I think we have a little bit of responsibility. If we're going to be the best product around, we shouldn't be an unattainable goal for anyone. And we should really work on creating pathways for people to get there. I think that's something people can get behind.
Love it. Love it. Right. Because, and I think you are absolutely right, because for many of the international students, it's all of this economy of scale. And like you said, it's not inexpensive. So how do they go about doing it? So I think one of the sort of help would be like the scholarship programs, right? And what else does a school do in terms of getting these students in and, with financial? Is there any other pathway for them, like let's say student loans or any of that other stuff, which they can look into?
For domestic students, yes. Banks are very willing to lend to dental students. Not that dental students are always so enamored with the idea of taking those loans, but banks are very, very willing to do so because the default rates are basically zero, which at least is a little bit of solace for those dental students taking on those loans, because they are paying them back, or the banks wouldn't be so willing to lend. For international, that's not really the case. There aren't what we think of as sort of traditional student loans available to them in the same way. Those are really personal or private loans. Obviously, those carry different interest rates. So the economics just really change for them. So the importance of scholarship availability is then increased for them. And I think, the larger and more successful our program, the easier it is for us to be in a position to do so, right? You need to do good by doing well, right? And I think that's part of one of your own lectures when you come in to talk to our D1s. Our success then allows us the flexibility to offer that. So I think, we're on a mission to be more and most successful in those areas. But I think part of that is that philanthropic aspect to it.
Correct.
Both from external, where we're looking for the support, and internally, is our mission to then give that support.
Excellent. I think there are many options where people can explore. It's just a matter of making up their mind and getting into the program. And when you decide, I always believe once we decide, things happen. Good things happen. So last question for you, Dr. Oquendo. You are a very busy woman, right? And you do a lot. How do you balance your personal life, work life? What are some of the goods and the bads and some of the challenges that you face? And I did learn that you are a mother of twins, so that's awesome. I love it. How do you take work, life, and how do you juggle those two as a mom and as a professional?
It's definitely a difficult one, but such an important one, right? You need a balance. We definitely need a balance, and we have to be intentional about it. That's the trick. You have to be intentional, right? And it's not just about time management, it's about mind management. And I'm a big believer of high performance habits because they do help you manage a little bit all the responsibility. And I'm passionate not just about my work. And of course, I dedicate a lot of my time to improving the programs and education, but it's also about, as you said, my daughters. They are my biggest source of inspiration. And I like to make sure that I'm a role model for them and I allocate enough time. Quality time is not just time. That's another trick, right? It's not just allocating the time. It's that quality time. You have to be present. You have to be there for them and support them. And that's honestly what keeps me grounded, right? What gives me purpose is that guidance, that role model to my daughters. And you need to have also time for your habits, your friends. And I love reading. I love self-growth.
Okay.
So I allocate also. I'm very systematic. I think you have to be systematic. Some of my friends joke and say your life is like a schedule, but it's the only way that you could be that efficient, right? And that intentional. So I allocate time also for reading. That's one of my hobbies. I love reading, but reading for learning, self-growth. I read a lot about leadership. I always
Mm-hmm.
aspire to be the best leader I can for my teams, my admin teams here, my faculties, and my students. So I bring that knowledge and that reading and that, hobby of learning and self-growth give me ideas to crack new experiences for the program and the students. And also wellness. I'm afraid with wellness, and I don't see it as a homework. I approach it with curiosity and joy, always trying to have a balanced mind and a balanced body. And again, being intentional, have a schedule. This is when I'm exercising and I'm intentional about what I eat and trying to teach all of that to my daughters. And last, I need to have time to travel. It's part of the team. Traveling is a hobby for me. Being exposed to new cultures and a different perspective, it gives you so much in building those memories. So I allocate traveling for family trips, friends to see my friends, and also for work. I do travel a lot in this
Nice.
role. Yeah. So
Because this
I
is one
guess
of the
being
questions.
intentional, systematic. Yeah. But how hard it is, right?
Absolutely.
Is
You,
one of
you
the
know,
top.
I'll give it to you for doing that. And also, the other lady in the room is Candy. I mean, she's also got a little one, just, about my littlest, almost the same age as my little one. Ryan, sorry, guys in this room, I mean, they don't really have any empathy for us. Okay. So, and then one thing I love about Candy is when she goes out with her family and she's spending family time or personal time, she's also making relationships. And that is something, and that is kind of something which I see in you too, Dr. Oquendo. You always had this work, but then you're also thinking about family. But then when you're in family, you're also thinking about work. So you're like kind of juggling both. And I see that even with my wife. So I've noticed that this is, I think, the female power. But for us guys, we are always just focused on one thing, right? We're just at work, we're at work, at home, we're at home, but we are also doing work. So we don't balance life as good. I don't know about you, Ryan. That's my experience. If you have something to say, definitely chime in.
No, my wife is better at everything than I am. Hard stop. I don't have to make a qualifier for that.
Yeah,
So
you trained well.
she's better at life than I am. But without her, I would be very poor at it.
No, absolutely.
I think of the videos that have gone viral that me and my husband constantly, that's our love language, is sending each other reels and funny little stories that we found online that are so pertinent. And there's one circling around about the differences between mentally a man and a woman. And here's what a woman thinks about all day long. Well, she might be sitting there on her phone, but she's scheduling birthday parties. I have to order this. I have to book this appointment. It's constantly wheels are turning. You're always thinking about what needs to be done next. And then they cut to a man on what they're thinking, and he's thinking about like a sandwich, right?
Right.
Nothing else. And that's like the different, it's probably a little too vague, but I laugh at the differences between the two because we're just hardwired different. We do our mental load. It's a constant wheel of what needs to get done. And I think that's why men and women, we tend to, be pretty balanced and we both accomplish different things. It's not that your wife is better, Ryan. It's just that we operate in different ways, and without each other, we wouldn't be balanced out, right?
Oh, 100%. I just wanted to shine this a little bit on the human aspect because it takes successful people in their personal lives to run successful professional lives. And, since we're talking about this program, this whole gamut, I mean, it all comes as one package. It's not like one or the other. So if someone is really, really successful at their personal life, and that's how we look at our team members, if you got your personal life in order, your work life is in order. And that's one of those things that carry around that kind of goes goes vice versa.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that, how you guys, mingle around and what do you do to juggle day-to-day activities, because it's a lot. It's a lot, especially with the university and the programs and everything that you do. So I really appreciate you guys for, doing all that. So that's huge.
I think we all love what we do. And I think that perpetuates the success. We're really passionate about holding our own within our own roles. I think we all play different roles.
Exactly.
And you're right. I love what you just said about balancing your personal life. I think, you have to set a good foundation in every aspect of your life. If not, it bleeds into the other, right? You can tell when somebody's not happy in their home life. You can tell when somebody's not happy in their career achievements. It bleeds into each other and you bring it home with you or vice versa. So yeah, I think it's your due diligence in life. It's to organize your family, your schedule. I love what Anabella said about your mental wellness, your physical wellness. Always find time for yourself. And then it inspires people around you. My daughter, who is 4, she says, like, mommy, going to exercise because she knows that's it should be part of life. You should learn that a working mother, a mother who takes care of herself physically and mentally, all of that is part of the deal. And I think one thing we're all very good at in this room is covering every single base so that the people around us are lifted by us.
Absolutely. Well, so before we land the plane here, Ryan, how does someone learn more about the program? Is there a way they can kind of shadow someone or maybe like just have a conversation with someone just to kind of see what's inside of each of those 4 fellowship programs?
For interested applicants, it's really a question for Dr. Oquendo, and she has a fantastic team over there in the clinic that I'm sure would be happy to hear from them. But I don't want to assign who for which, if she'd like to take that.
Perfect.
Okay. So yeah, the team is fantastic, really. At the end of the day, we all know it's all about the people, right? And everybody's so welcoming. So it's super easy to reach out to us. I would say one is our website, the school website. It's listed under education, advanced clinical fellowships. We also do a lot of Instagram, so they can follow us on Instagram. And even my personal Instagram, I'm happy to respond to any messages and guide you through the right person. And we do shadows. So for students that want to see it before even really applying, we let them come, look at what we do, meet with the other fellows, talk to them, talk to the faculty. So that we also do. And it's very, very helpful for them to make a decision and to understand what they are getting into it, right? So I would say Instagram is wonderful. Our website is fantastic. We are listed under education. And any member of my team will be so helpful and will guide anybody super well. And it's super easy.
I'll add one more.
Yeah.
Past alumni.
Thank
we have
you.
no better advertising out in the world.
Right. You have all the advertisement.
The ambassadors of the program. Exactly.
Ambassadors. I like that. Ambassadors.
Yes.
I love
any
it.
alumni will be able to, talk about the program and guide anybody through the process of application and what to expect a day in the life of a student here.
And with that being said, we are going to be doing a shoot one day coming in May. And we'll be doing a shoot about fellow, right? From the Liu implants, and we're going to be following them and doing exactly what is a day look like for them from morning till the time they check out and they go to their homes.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. Very visual.
I'm really looking forward.
Yeah, me too.
Team, any last minute statements?
I just want to say we're having Candy, we're on the same page. Thank you so much.
No, actually, thank you guys for coming on. It was a work to get all of us together, right? So thank you. Appreciate it.
It is our pleasure. And we can't wait to see you in, just like 6 weeks or so?
6 weeks. Absolutely.
The day in the life is going to be fantastic. And so I hope your viewers and such and listeners are really going to enjoy that too, because seeing behind the curtain is always an interesting way to go about it, and really seeing the rigor that these folks go through and the dedication and passion they have. Again, they are the best advertising we could do. So you want people to be interested in the program, you want people to contribute to the program, just show them who's in it. We can't tell their story nearly as well. And every one of them is just really incredibly impressive. So thank you for the opportunity to get that word out there.
Well, thank you very much. We're going to land the plane here. Again, NYU College of Dentistry, their website has all the information about the fellowship program, as well as a regular DDS program. So anytime anyone have any questions, feel free to reach out. We're going to land the plane here. And thank you very much, guys, for coming on. It was a sure pleasure and an honor to have you guys all at the same time.
Likewise.
Thank you, Dr. Will.
Thank
Be well.
Thank-
Alrighty.
Take care, guys.
All right. Take care. Take care.